Well, some of the controversial ministers that served in the Zuma administration have been called to chair parliamentary committees. They include former Energy Minister Joemat-Pettersson, former Communications Minister Muthambi, and former Mineral Resources Minister, that's Mosebenzi Zwane. ANC Caucus leader Pemmy Majodina and the party's Secretary General Ace Magashule made the announcement in Cape Town earlier this week. Well, joining us now from our Pretoria studios is Professor Somadoda Fikeni. Good afternoon, Prof, and thank you so much for making time to share your expertise with us on the national broadcaster.
Thank you for inviting me.
Prof, what do you make of the portfolio committee list at this juncture?
Well, I would simply say it is reflective of the balance of forces within the ANC, especially the NEC, wherein it's no longer a question of the ethical conduct of people. It's a matter of trying to deal with the issues of internal unity with the hope that the legislative or legal processes such as the state capture will do the actual work. So that is one element to it which might be raised, where people are using the lower bar of saying somebody has to be legally found guilty, instead of saying is the person involved in any unethical conduct, even if they have not gone through the legal processes.
Internal unity within the African National Congress clearly taking precedence, Prof. But what will be the impact on the public consciousness when people out there see red-flagged officials and red-flagged ministers back in the highest house of the land?
I do think that people are already very cynical about what politicians say and do, seeing that there seem to be incongruence in those. But at the same time, you'll remember that ANC had pronounced in its various congresses that people who have serious accusations against them ought to take a voluntary step or be removed as such until their name is cleared. But they seem to have retreated now into a situation where they say a person is innocent until proven guilty, even if there was a mounting, reputationally damaging set of allegations against the person's consent.
Prof, how do you think the president, the new president and the new administration will seek to address public sector corruption, which has spread so widely throughout the state, including provincial governments and key public institutions? Surely we need committees, portfolio committees headed by high caliber leadership at this point.
Certainly, I do think that this is a dilemma for the president, who has put as the central platform of his the fight against corruption. His exercise seemed to be limited to the appointments in the cabinet, most of them at least. But when it comes to other deployments, which mainly depend on the party and the party deployment committees, he seemed to have a very limited scope in that sense. Of course, the society is divided on this. Some sympathize with him, saying he's trying to fight against all odds, therefore they support him as such. But others are saying he's not strong enough to impose his will on his party, therefore he has a very constrained space to exercise his influence.
Of course, there's always a honeymoon period where the public and investors, and we're all very optimistic, even a bit cautiously so, after elections. Do you think our new president can keep the momentum going beyond the elections that have come and gone, and also lay the groundwork that we need in terms for a new economic trajectory which will seriously address both growth, inequality, poverty and unemployment, Prof?
Well, I do think that starting the president at a close range now for the year he has been at the helm of the state, or little more than that, he seemed to be a person who works through persuasion. and a person who works through consensus. So building that consensus can be frustratingly slow and therefore could create a perception of weakness. But at the same time, if his party and the society is so fragmented, the issue of maximum mobilization of people becomes a necessity to achieve certain things against the backdrop of a very impatient society which has seen so many wrong things, and also they need relief yesterday, not tomorrow. So to that extent, I do think that the society will be divided on the steps he's taking, how fast those steps are, and he ought also have to take some risks and understand some trade-offs, because he cannot please everybody. Decisiveness, boldness, and risk-taking in making sure that you fulfill the vision is very, very important under these circumstances.
Professor, thank you for your time.